Away from that, Nigeria will join other parts of the world on Sunday, 15th November 2020 to mark the World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims.
Absolutely. Nigeria, the Green Light Initiative, along with other road safety stakeholders, will be organizing a series of road safety awareness program, which will happen from the 9th of November to the 15th of November 2020.
We will be joined by the founder and executive director of Green Light Initiative, Simon Patrick Obi, and the representative of the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC. Nigeria will join other parts of the world on Sunday, the 15th of November 2020 to mark the World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims. The Nigeria Green Light Initiative, along with other road safety stakeholders, will be organizing a series of road safety awareness programs from the 9th of November to 15th November 2020. Joining us now to look at this issue is the founder and executive director of Green Light Initiative, Simon Patrick Obi, and of course a representative of the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Deputy Corps Public Education Officer Charles Edem. Good to have you gentlemen on the program.
Many thanks, gentlemen, for joining us. And now let me start with you, Simon. Over 1.3 million people, lost their lives due to issues concerning road related, want to say accidents or cases, and about some 50 million around the world get injured. What are the concerns? How can we begin to bring down these numbers?
All right, thank you once again for inviting me. Again, once we started talking about this issue, people look at the numbers, 1.35 million. Now the question I often ask people is, take a moment and imagine a country, because many countries are less than 1.35 million in population. Take a moment and imagine a country, cleared off within a year. These are human beings. Behind these numbers are fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, and our friends. So the numbers are the numbers of those killed on our road every year. As I'm talking to you, bringing it down to the lowest level, 3,600 people will be killed on the world road. And this is very unacceptable, And then over 50 million people are injured in different degrees. Many of such others are permanently disabled. And most of those people are, breadwinners of family. So this is a big issue. We want everyone to get involved. Not just the leaders, not just the political leader, but everyone. Because at the end of the day, everyone uses the road. Even if you say you travel by air, at the end of the day, when you arrive at the airport, you will still need to commute from the airport to your final destination. So we are all road users, and we need to get involved. One thing we tell people is this: road safety is everybody's responsibility. You shouldn't relegate it to the Federal Road Safety Corps or the leadership of a country. You have a role to play, and your role is simple: obey the traffic rules. Again, we often say that people call it accident. We don't call it accident because accidents are unplanned event. But road traffic crashes are predictable and then preventable. Predictable in the sense that you can predict that someone is driving to kill or to crash when the person is over speeding or going against the traffic light or not obeying traffic rules. So the person is driving to kill.
All right, Mr. Edem, 50 million injuries, and of course 1.35 million deaths as a result of road crashes. I think this is about the global figures. What are the figures like, back home here in Nigeria?
Well, for certain, we work with estimates because most of the traffic crashes are not reported. So to tell you it's 10 million out is not really going to be telling the truth the way it is. But I think it's just better we don't dwell on the figures alone, but look at the impact.
When you say most of the road crashes are not reported, isn't it the duty of the Federal Road Safety Corps to intervene immediately?
Of course, that is what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But the truth of the matter is, if I'm going to tell you it's 10 million a day or this, that does not really capture the true picture of the crashes in Nigeria. You understand? So what I am about saying is, it is better we look at the impact of what the road traffic crashes is doing to us as individuals, is doing to us as a nation, is doing to us as a community, and act on that to mitigate all those effects.
Now, what are you now doing? Let's look at, since that should be the focus. What are we doing, to try to get these numbers down and try and keep more people alive? Because, like he said, sometimes I imagine what it should be like, using your legs to move from here to Lagos. I wonder how many years it will take. Probably before you get to Lagos, one would probably have grown gray hair. So what are we doing?
Good. Like Nigeria keying into the United Nations Decade of Action, which came up with 5 pillars that are serving as a kind of guide to what the actions we should take to ensure that our roads are safe for all Nigerians and of everybody in Nigeria to apply on. Like we talk about the 5 pillars, talking about first, we should have a lead agency that takes care of road safety administration and of course traffic management in Nigeria, which of course the Federal Road Safety happens to be that lead agency. The second one is that we will look at the possibilities of making our roads safer than what it is. Having what we call the forgiving roads in place, so that even if the traffic crashes do happen, they would not result in death. 0 death. The next one, we look again at having safer vehicles ply our roads. Apart from that, we now try to affect the human behavior. Look at the humans and try to influence their behavior so that they become that safety conscious road users that would always adhere to all traffic rules and regulations, having safety at the back of their minds whenever they move on the Nigerian roads. Then of course the last of the pillars is having a quick and timely response system. That is talking about the post-crash care response system. And if we've been following the activities of the road safety, we had moved from, before this time, 30 minutes to respond to calls for rescue. Now we are working at take 15 minutes response time, depending on the location of the crash.
All right, Mr. Obi, several factors contribute to road crashes. Driving under the influence of alcohol, reckless driving, among others, are factors said to be compounding the problem of road crashes in the country. How much has your body, your agency, your initiative, talking about green light, how much have you done in terms of public enlightenment, in this regard?
All right, thank you so much for that great question. I would like to also emphasize that there are 3 factors that are responsible for crashes on our road. The one, the human factor. The second, it is the mechanical factor. And the third is the environmental factor. The human factor constitutes, the major attribute to crashes on our road, because it deals with human errors, lack of adherence to rules and regulations guiding the road. So for us, in my organization, the Green Light Initiative, what we do is to raise awareness of this issue and also educate Nigerians on this issue. We try to do that on social media. Like this week is we're commemorating it in Nigeria. It's a war Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims, on Monday we had a Twitter chat with the Federal Road Safety. And what are we doing? We're simply, raising awareness on social media, because we realize that we have more people on social media, and we thought it is wise to go there and educate people on road safety tips. On Tuesday, we had a press conference where the Minister of Health was there and a couple of other stakeholders came, and then we discussed about this issue. The same Tuesday, we're also having a training for truck and ambulance driver. All of these efforts are put together to raise awareness and to educate Nigeria on road safety.
Now, the road safety official here spoke about reducing the time for response. They want it to be at about 15 minutes. And we're looking at this kind of support, that should be given to rescue services. Because I'm aware that even though the road safety is trying to get to 15 minutes, sometimes they are being challenged due to the infrastructure needed to get some of these things done.
Yes, thank you so much, my brother. And I must be bold with you on this issue. A day before yesterday, I was at the hospital, National Hospital, and someone who was involved in a crash was rushed into the hospital. And I can tell you, it took more than an hour to bring the person. And this is the story across Nigeria. We're not doing well in terms of response. And we can understand that these agencies are not properly funded. And this is about life. This is about life. What is our priority in this nation? When you're losing your citizen, you're losing huge investment. There are reports, according to World Bank, that countries lose more than 7% of their GDP to road accident, road issues. So it's high time that the government increase investment, increase funding for the Federal Road Safety Corps. Once they have this funding, they're able to build up their infrastructure and respond to cases of emergency. We have people who are not supposed to die, dying every day because our response systems are slow. If they are not slow, they are poor. If they are not poor, then the capacity of those responding to these cases are very, nothing to write home about. So we need to increase funding to this agency. That way, they will increase their capacity and then the infrastructure needed to respond to some of these emergency cases. We're not doing well. We need to step up.
All right, we are moving forward to ensuring that we implement the Sustainable Development Goals. How easy will it be for Nigeria and other African countries to realize the SDGs, particularly as it relates to the targets of 3.6, which calls for a 50% reduction in the number of road traffic deaths by 2020?
Thank you very much. Talking about reaching that target already by August or so, when the what's it called, UN Decade of Action 2011 to 2020 was reviewed, and of course we were able to understand that most of the countries, especially the African countries, were not able to reach that targeted percentage. And of course there was another proposal from 2021 to I think 2020 and 2030, which is like going back to see the areas where we were unable to meet and work towards achieving that. And like with what we are doing today, keying into those global targets, like we're talking about what we're doing concerning this global convention of marking the World Day Remembrance for road traffic crash victims, is part of our efforts towards seeing that we actually work to achieve those targets. And our Corps Marshal, Chief Dr. Obuboye Oyeyemi, of course, is not relenting at all in his efforts. He's going places, meeting stakeholders, coming up with policies that will definitely bring all stakeholders on board to see that we jointly tackle this global menace.
One of those policies or initiative has to do with the speed limits. But I observed that it's like some this speed limit thing, has there been a review? Because I know that there's supposed to be a limit that it's supposed to be pegged. High Command, have you done any review with regards to speed limits, or is this still being implemented?
First, the roads have their various speed limits marked. But first, the policy we're talking about was the installation of speed limiting device in vehicles. We started first with the commercial vehicles with the hope of moving from there to get all the private vehicles equally having these devices installed in their vehicles. So, in terms of reviewing the policies, of course, on daily basis, we file in reports of maybe compliance
with the issue
of speed limiting devices. And of course, most of the accredited and registered fleet operators have.
All right, we have been, thank you so much. We have been looking at preventing road crashes against the backdrop of this year's celebration of the World Day for the Remembrance of Road Traffic Victims. And of course, we are being joined by Corps Marshal Federal Safety Corps Boboye Oyeyemi, who is here ably represented by Charles Edem. Thank you so much for joining us.
Also, the Executive Director of Green Light Initiative, Simon Patrick Obi, joined us. Many thanks, Simon, and wish you well in trying to help our roads get safer.
Thank you for
Next on the program is entertainment and lifestyle. So stay with us.